Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11, and we are pushing deeper and deeper into Africa and into India. So far, India is a complete and total cakewalk. So that's unthrilling. Not quite entirely uninteresting, but unthrilling. Yes, we control the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. Look at the infrastructure here, because we're moving lots of supplies for some of these areas. Well, they're mostly pretty damn nice. It's about the worst. Well, we'll throw that up there. Okay, those guys aren't looking in good shape. These guys are in much better shape, so let's pull these guys out of the line. How are these guys? Look not so good either, but we'll wait until those guys get in. Fortunately, these guys are much ready to attack, but they're not yet retreated. Now, here we go. We're finding some forces to oppose us. Good, we won there. These guys are coming up here, and I think now we have a fleet here. Good. Okay, Africa Corps, you get on there. You get on. You get on. Yes, you're the good forces. You're the okay forces. Okay. All you guys, come down to here. Hopefully, how big a port is this? We got better supplies coming in up through here. But at least get down there. Still haven't gotten the air base finished. Oh, there we go. Phew. Just that I almost clicked on that. We'll do that when saving. Okay, commerce defense advance. Very good. We like that, but let's take carrier group doctrine. Okay, we are researching that, so once we get that, then we can do carrier task force. There we go. And trade offers. Okay, we'll sell you fuel. And like I say, we now have an airbase down there, even though it's not very well built out. But let's move you guys down there so you can start getting yourself organized. Okay, well now we have a lot more units. I think I'm also going to strip the militia unit out of here. You just slow up the rest too much. Let's move along here. Okay. Let's take the tropical island garrison, put them on board these ships, and move over to here. Rebase, actually. Okay, we'll deal with that in just a second. Yeah, let's go over here now that we'll have a garrison here. Okay. SS Jäger Battalion 502 raid on Lyric. Was Nazis Germany main special forces from 43 to 44 conducted several operations against the Allies and Soviets. Launched the operation. No need to. That's Otto Skorzeny. He was an Austrian. The best SS commando guy. Not the best commando guy, but definitely the best SS commando. Okay, so we have a 90% chance of first Folsom Jäger Brigade will be placed in the production queue. You and I will get brigade raid on the Lyric event. Dues Naval Base 1 in Lyric. Is that in Northern Ireland? No. This sounds Irish. And yes, generally speaking, I know the geography of Britain, but I don't know whether it is no or a 10% no chance or no effect. We'll go with this. We'll cost the manpower and the supplies. There we go. And there we go. We got that. Good. And we need more there, and it looks like we got a lot of stuff. Okay, creation of the 19th Army. All right. Now, of course, we have 90% chance of positive outcomes compared to the beginning. So let's see. What do we want? National revolt risk down. Money. Probably what we want to do. Money. I'm sort of being greedy here for money. Territorial pride. We got plenty of that. Recruit time, yeah, we want money. Okay, the 716th Infantry Division. Transfer June 41, occupational security duties. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. And the 265th Infantry Division, these are more of the fortress ones. Scaled down civilian production. The proportion of military spending in the German economy began growing rapidly after 1942, as the Nazi government was forced to dictate more and more the country's economic resources to fight a losing war. Civilian factories were converted to military use and placed under military administration. From mid-43 on, Germany switched to a full war economy overseen by Albert Speer. By late 44, almost the entire German economy was dedicated to military production. The result was a dramatic rise in military production, with an increase by 2 to 3 times of vital goods like tanks and aircraft, despite intensifying air campaign and the loss of territory and factories. Restaurants and other services were closed to focus on the German economy on military needs. The increase in production was insufficient to match the Allies in any other category of production. Some production was moved underground in an attempt to put it out of reach of Allied bombers. Now, I think we may have seen that picture before. Of course, the guy with the armband, that Speer. I don't know. I think he's NSKK. Maybe that's an SS Eagle, but that looks like an NSKK Eagle. Okay. Just saying restaurants were closed. One thing is interesting. A while ago, and I recently rewatched a good chunk of it. A series on Wartime Farm. It's called that. Sort of on what was going on in Britain on the sort of civil/farm front for the war. And it starts at the beginning, sort of what's going on in the beginning of the war, and goes until late in the war, and how rationing continued to get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. Even though the Allies are winning the war, the rationing gets worse and other things. One thing that actually they grow in Britain is a restaurant infrastructure, and that's to feed people, both rurally as well as in urban areas. It's a lot of fixed price menus that are very cheap, and it's just very simple foods. This isn't like, oh, we're going to the nice restaurant. This is, we're going to go get cheap meals. Often a lot of the stuff is not specifically rationed, so you're not having to pull stuff out of your coupon book, some of the stuff, to get meals. And like I say, it's cheap. You still, at least mostly, are paying for it, but it's something that most people, and again, you got to realize, and I'm sure there's some public assistance for people in complete and total need, but basically there's 100+% employment in Britain. They want everybody who's even marginally able-bodied to work, and I'm sure lots of old ladies and whatever could, look after kids for women who are working in factories, or, sort of minimal kind of, retired people I'm talking about, or whatever, minimal types of work. If you're reasonably able-bodied, there's some sort of jobs that you could get. So it was definitely a way to get food to people, and they were sort of fixed food pricing going in, because this is all the food that was being served in these restaurant type things, are food that's being served by the government through the government collection rationing agency systems. So they're not a for-profit business, but what they do is they really transition Britain's culture in going out to eat. Because before then, I'm not talking London and, those sort of one big sort of urban cosmopolitan center in Britain. I'm talking about everywhere else, because, and I know I'm speaking to a lot of Europeans, and I'm sure they have a lot more familiarity with this, but I am also speaking to the Americans. A lot of the people in Britain to this day, and I know Britain better than any other, if you call Britain a European country, better than any other European country, you still are very sort of class-oriented, and for an American, it's really odd. It's really weird. And people can move up in classes. You can, like, sort of one of the favorite things is Margaret Thatcher, who becomes prime minister. But there's a few very rare sort of recordings of her in her very early days when she first runs for Parliament, hear her accent then versus her accent that everyone knows, that all of her speeches, and when you hear her interviewed, she radically changes her accent because she radically changes her class within Britain, and it goes through something that you don't find the need to do in America. And but so even in urban industrial areas, there was basically the pub, which did serve food, and then there was eating at home, and that was basically it for a great bulk of people. And yeah, you can, here's a 1850s restaurant. Yeah, there were restaurants, but it wasn't something that was a mass culture, mass society kind of thing for everyone to do. And you got to remember, if you look at Sherlock Holmes era, which the 1880s or whatever, that middle class is almost paper thin. There's more people in it than your true elite upper class, but that's really sort of paper thin and just sort of burgeoning within society. Most of the people aren't that, and so they eat, and a lot of people have domestic work. And if you again watch, what was it? The last big series that I know my cousin, she watched religiously, about that noble family, whatever. But it just, all the people working in that, that huge sort of want to call it castle, but it's not a castle. It's a big, country, English country house. But if you even look domestically, you know, I guess series which I've never may have seen an episode or two, upstairs, downstairs, or whatever, you know, how many domestic staff people that are running a household for middle class people just within that household. Now, all of those people in that household, you know, the working staff, they also ate there. They rarely go out to properly eat in a restaurant. You know, there's like what, a 2-penny ordinary or something like that. You know, there are places in urban to get it. To get food, but you don't necessarily or primarily or generally speaking take the family with the kids to go eat in a restaurant. Idea. This really sort of happens in the war period and in the sort of immediate post-war, because they continue the rationing system in Britain and they continue this going on. So this really changes culture of going out to eat in Britain. That's change in this sort of the shift there. So let's see. We can scale down civilian production, remove some manpower, get more supplies or materials, or all as well. Well, I don't want to lower my manpower, and you know what? All's well. I mean, you know, as things go, we're not, you know, if we were desperately fighting here, I would have, you know, if I have manpower, I'd definitely see about doing something different. Okay. Reorganizing the Flugmeldedienst. Got Dienst or service or whatever as a single word. Again, you Germans can't. See here, we aircraft reporting service. We separate the words by spacing them out. It's very efficient. Was established early 1932. Was transferred to the Luftwaffe in 39. Unlike the British Royal Observer Corps, observation post did not use a pointing and altitude assessment instrument to provide track information. Reports indicated the number of aircraft, the direction of flight in a clock code, and height as low, medium, or high. Information gathered by the aircraft reporting services flowed to its command post. Further units, okay. Rates identified needs, procedures. You increase the rapidity of reporting. Observers were equipped with headphone, telephone, instrument set, correctly tracked. Completed 43 reporter. Now pass in 1 minute. Reporting to multiple filter centers. Okay. Reorganize it. Gain manpower. That's great. 10 manpower, not big, but that's great. And air defense network, 50 points gained. Lose 500 supplies or no need. We're going to do that. That's good. We're still facing off with the British. Okay, and I don't know whether I should build more things or build. I'm building mostly in like Khartoum and well, Kirkenes, some road infrastructure there to help with that, but a lot around here, a little bit here. Just doing some of that. Building some V1s just to do so. Well, let's build 2 more of these. I just like the idea of anti-aircraft cruisers. Basically a lot of AA mounted on a cruiser, I presume. We haven't researched battle cruisers really. So, let's do some destroyers. And let's also come here and, well, let's do 2 of these. They're going to take forever. And let's do 3 submarines. Regular sort of. Long-range submarines are great because they got long range. But we're still actually holding out a semi-allied, you know, base down here. So if I really want to operate in this part of the world, and my submarines can't, I can base out of there, or I can base out of Africa. So I don't need long range. Not that there's, you know, obviously if I want to operate out here, just base out of a Japanese base. So I don't really need long range subs. Not that, you know, I don't know, I couldn't put subs out here, or, you know, coming off of Africa or someplace that I can't reach otherwise, but I just don't need that. So that's why I'm not going to build them, because they're sort of expensive. Or I'd rather build a few more of these guys that can operate in tough environments, you know, where you got to be able to hide well. Just my thoughts behind why I'm doing some things. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about the SS ones. Heavy artillery. I'm presuming it's taken from some historical thing, though I wouldn't normally put heavy artillery in a mountain HQ. Might do medium just to do something more than a mountain artillery unit, you know, but yeah, we got Scotland, but that's about it, because all the rest of these, you know, purple areas are urban, so we don't really have a need for mountain SS. We have a few that are operating at least one here. I don't know if any others here. The rest have, or a couple of the other units have gone out here, because there may be super uber fights that we may, if I remember my last series playing here, I ended up not taking these, just sort of, you know, blockading them in, because they get super territorial pride and they're in the mountains and it's super hard to get them out. Don't know if we'll be fighting in here, which obviously are mountains, and whether we come after, you know, helping down in here or something with some SS units. So yeah, yeah, we'll move the mountain headquarters that way too. These are fairly slow boats, but they'll get them moving. Well, at least head them down to rebase down to here. Okay, I forget who I was going to attach those units to. Not the police were just going to go to, you know, help with occupation. I'll rebase. So I think I want to move some more of these guys out of here, because I don't want to leave them here. These are some of the, you know, the SS mountain troops that we were talking about. That are heading that way. Okay, yeah. Okay, Schwer Panzer Abteilung formed. Okay, have we already lost all of our images? And yeah, let's save this. Okay, well, I think we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. Please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron. Oh, well, wait a minute. I got to wait till this clock goes out. But yeah, we'll see you for more Hearts of Iron soon. Clock tick, 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 tick. I'm afraid if I do anything before that little pocket watch stops, I may crash it, and I don't want to. I want to save it. Come on. Okay, is anybody still here? Are you still watching this? Listening to me go, are you still watching this? It's gonna work. Just give it time. Give it lots of time, and it worked. Thanks so much. See you next time.